Good morning, y'all. I think we're ready for our Sunday sermon. Okay, we are prepped. We are lightly greased and moisturized. We got Napoleon over here in the corner. He's looking a little sad. I think we gotta put him in the shower today. But it doesn't get any better than this. Okay? That is the mantra. This is the way. It doesn't get any better than this. It's snowing outside. I have a parrot in the corner. I got a cup of coffee. Oh, before y'all start coming for me, I broke a nail. Okay, and I've been lazy and I haven't gotten around to fixing it yet. So we got Stubby Pants McGee over here on the left hand side. Alright. But anyway. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. And my goodness, life just keeps on rolling, doesn't it? I mean, just literally yesterday, I was thinking, it's been kind of a slow week, right? Because I think that, especially within the last probably 12 to 18 months, it has truly felt like just a never-ending saga of one thing after another. And so when there are weeks where it feels like it's a really slow news week, you start to kind of look around and you're like, oh, should I be nervous? And apparently we should, because guess what? Another shooting happened in a gun-free zone in a state that has a lot of gun regulation. Kind of interesting how that happens, isn't it? Personally, I have been reading a lot of Louis L'Amour, all right, with which, if any of you are not familiar with the late great Louis L'Amour, I highly recommend it. He is one of the quintessential behind Zane Grey, and I have, to my own detriment, I'll get on to Mr. Zane Grey after I finish with my Louis L'Amour streak. He is a classic Western writer, and I have enjoyed every single one of his books that I've read, okay? They are like the male Western popcorn candy version of romance stuff. So
hard, Kiwi bird.
it certainly is. Welcome to the video, audibly.
Sorry.
You're welcome. And I have thoroughly enjoyed reading Louis L'Amour. And what I can tell you that I have learned from reading Louis L'Amour is that part of what made the Old West was that everybody and their mother knew how to shoot. Everybody and their mother that was in their right mind had a gun. Your mom had a gun. Like literally everybody and their mother, okay, had a firearm. And they knew how to use it. And that was the unspoken law of the West, right? Because you never knew who you could be coming around the corner to that would be better armed and better skilled than your little old booty, okay? So best to keep yourself in your lane and mind your own business instead of going out here and causing a ruckus, all right? But I try to stay as apolitical as I can out here because my concern is making sure that all of yous is out there being well-read, literaturized, which that's not a word. It doesn't do anything for my, perceived IQ to be using a word like literaturized, but frankly, it sounds good and it ought to be a word, okay? Literaturized, we need you well-read on the classics, we need you educated, we need you to form a lexicon of helpful and specific jargon with which you can go forth and conquer the world, darlings, okay? I want critical thinkers, all right? But I have to admit, being a, Second Amendment girly myself, to me, and it's the little old redneck hillbilly in me, that thinks this, because you can take the girl out of the woods, but you can't take the woods out of the girl. I think the solution is just more guns, personally. Okay? And I think because it is the Second Amendment and it is in the Constitution, maybe every place in the United States should be constitutional carry. Now, I understand if it's a event where you have to buy a ticket and they want to keep firearms out of the event. I understand that. That's a private event. You knew when you signed up and you entered into that unspoken contract of purchasing a ticket that was part of the deal, right? Same with private colleges. If that's what you want to do, baby, go on. I understand. College is a strange time. There's a lot of hormones going around, and you don't want a lot of people with hormones getting riled up and popping off for no business, okay? But I can tell you right now that even though Times Square has signs that say it's a gun-free zone, baby, unless you were born last night, everybody knows there are guns in that zone. So, but hey, we will see, won't we? We will see. Now, to get onto my little lecture sermonizing of the day. First off, our community notes, okay? The community notes are go out, pick up a Lewis L'Amour novel, okay? Personally, I really love Conaher. I like Conaher a lot. Crossfire Trail was really good. I've read Hondo. I am currently, what else did I read? I've read something else. Crossfire Trail, Conaher, Hondo. You know, I could pull out my little e-reader and list all of them, but so far, every single book that I have read of Shaleko, that's the one I'm reading right now. Right now, I am currently reading Shaleko. But, anywho, Shadow Riders. I knew it would come to me. I knew it would come to me. I am a huge Sam Elliott fan. Sam Elliott and who's the other, not Burt Russell, or Burt Reynolds. It's not Burt Reynolds. It's the Tom Selleck. Yeah, I think it's Tom Selleck that is in, actually I'm fairly positive, Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott, big fans, and they've been in a bunch of Lewis L'Amour novelty movies. But anyways, go out, read yourself a Lewis L'Amour novel, get into it, enjoy it. It's beautifully done, and it's just short enough to make the ride fun, okay? I really highly recommend it. I am reading it because I'm trying to reconnect myself to what it means to be an American and what exactly is the American culture and or our American culture, and how do we reconnect with that and how do we reestablish that? But before I get into that, the community notes moment, go out, hug your friends, talk to somebody that you haven't spoken to in a while, hug your mama, tell your daddy thank you, and be cognizant of the opportunities that present themselves to you when they appear so that you can take advantage of it and become the best version of you that you can be, okay? Now, on our Sunday sermon journey to rediscovering the American cultural identity, I decided that this particular topic was something that was important to talk about because in a conversation with a high school friend of mine, he was lamenting the lack of non-entertainment / athletically based Black icons within the American pantheon of cultural touchstones, as it were. And immediately that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, okay? And at first I couldn't quite figure out like why that rubbed me the wrong way, right? Like I understand what he's saying. I think that in the culture, there has been a distinct effort to laud and raise up and shine and give the spotlight to types of people who don't, in my opinion, embody the best that we have to offer as Americans, right? And so it got me to thinking about the importance of, first of all, it got me to think about Black icons in America that I love, adore, and think have made a significant impact on the culture, both within America and across the globe. Because my first rebuttal to his lamentation is that the idea that having a lot of entertainment and athletic icons is something to be looked down on, or to have, to lament over, right? And to feel a type of way about, which I strongly disagree with, all right? Now, why do I disagree with it? Because I think that American culture, and specifically the entertainment industry, which we know is a huge part of what has established us across the globe, is Hollywood, is American pop culture, and our creative entertainment industries, even the sports that we have, right? We are able to spread our culture so successfully across the globe because we have film icons, sport icons, music, entertainment industry icons who have become so outsized and larger than life that they have not only shaped our culture significantly and irrevocably for the better, in my opinion, but they have also globally affected other cultures and other people because our cultural reach is so outsized. And I think that to lament the abundance of Black icons within that sphere is, frankly, it's just disrespectful, in my opinion. I think it's disrespectful, and it really degrades and diminishes the impact that American culture has within the entertainment and music industries, and how powerful the people who inhabit those spaces successfully have been. And in that vein, I'm going to list off a couple of the icons, legends, and cultural formers that I think have left a lasting impression upon who we are as Americans and who the world sees us as, and have significantly changed the landscape of the artistic and creative landscape of the craft that they each inhabit, right? So in no particular order, Michael Jordan, because he and I got into a little back and forth about who was better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. And baby, I can tell you right now, even as a non-basketball person, I can tell you is no competition, is Mr. Jordan all the way. All right? And I mean, besides Mr. Jordan, who is just, there will never be another one. All right? He is it. That's it. And you can list any other, bunch of any number of incredibly talented gentlemen below Mr. Jordan, but Mr. Jordan's at the top of that particular bracket when it comes to the NBA and cultural landmarks who have influenced American culture and spread it globally. Mr. Michael Jordan, okay? And then another Michael Jackson. Oh, y'all, how are you gonna be out here disrespecting the legacy of Michael Jackson and not recognizing the absolute, irrefutable impact that that man had on American culture and global culture, okay? Disrespectful to not respect Mr. Michael Jackson, okay? So we got our two Michaels covered. Now I got me some ladies, all right? Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Mahalia Jackson. And if y'all don't know who Miss Mahalia Jackson is, well, rock and roll would be nothing without her, all right? Let me just tell you that. You need to go look her up. The woman is incredible, okay? And then we've got, oh Lord, now I'm not going to be able to remember her name. It'll come to me. But Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. Then I've got Jackie Robinson. Sir, 42 made me cry. I wept. All right. I also wept during, what was that? The other the football one. Oh God. Not the Ernie Davis story. I feel like that's so wrong. It was about the guy that I think he's the one that the you know, when you get the running back award. Oh my God, my brain is not working this morning, y'all. I promise I am so much more intelligent than my lack of ability to remember these things. Okay. But if you remember that movie that I'm talking about, he was on an orange team and he had a long-term disease, and he, I believe, don't quote me on this, is the running back that award for best running back is based on. They did a movie out of it. I cried in that too. Babies, I am a watering pot in private, and I love a good sports tearjerker. I really do. I love them. I love every single one of them. But anyways, we got Jackie Robinson, and then a couple of other phenomenal athletes who have indelibly left their mark on both American culture and culture globally. Okay, Muhammad Ali, girl. How do we not show some mad respect for Mr. Muhammad Ali? All right, Mike Tyson. All right. Oh, okay. And then now we're going to be getting into our actors. Come on. First of all, we have to, before we get into all of our other current ones who are still alive, we have to talk about Mr. Sidney Poitier. All right. Mr. Sidney Poitier just, go watch one of his movies, babies. He is unbelievable, ridiculously talented, just broke all kinds of cultural segregationist landmarks in his time and made some of the best films. Just the best films, okay? And then when you talk about actors, you've got Denzel Washington, you've got Samuel Jackson, you've got Carl Werther, okay? Or Weathers, Carl Weathers. He may not be named after the candy, okay? Danny Glover. I mean, how are you going to come out here and say that just because they're entertainers and part of the entertainment industry, that it somehow makes the success that these people have found irrelevant, when in fact American culture and the American entertainment industry is one of the single largest mass influence and propaganda engines in the world, okay? Like, every other country in the world wants to have an entertainment industry that is impactful globally as we do. And you're going to come out here and start telling me that having people like Denzel Washington, Sidney Poitier, you know, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, all of these people is irrelevant? Baby, okay? And we're not even done, all right? We are not even done. So now and Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, all right? So Like, I mean, you can just getting me all worked up here. Okay, now I'm going to move into some of my musicians. Buddy Guy. We already talked about Mahalia Jackson. Okay, Buddy Guy. I mean, basically the entire blues, rock industry back in the day. We would not have modern music, full stop, period, if it weren't for people like Mahalia Jackson, Buddy Guy, Muddy Waters, I mean, shoot. Just the disrespect gets me all worked up. And then you've got your modern ones like 50 Cent. I love 50 Cent. Okay? 50 Cent was a hottie then, he's a hottie now, and he is an entrepreneur. All right? 50 Cent not only became one of the top musical artists of his time and of his era and has left a lasting impression on the music industry. The man is an entrepreneur. All right? He is out in his community doing things. What about I don't know if Akon is an American. Is he an American, or did he keep his whatever Caribbean island it is that Akon is the patron saint of? But anyways, you get what I'm saying, okay? Then we got Nat King Cole. Nat King Cole alone, okay? Nat King Cole, and then he had the world's greatest offspring with freaking Natalie Cole, okay? I mean, disrespect, okay? Then we're gonna talk about, and these are just a couple, all right? And then because his beef was with the fact that it's just entertainment industry people, okay? Now I got some non-entertainment industry people. First of all, Elizabeth Keckley. All right, now for those of you who don't know who Elizabeth Keckley is, I recommend you go out and research her. There have been a lot of podcasts and YouTube research essays done on Elizabeth Keckley, but Elizabeth Keckley was a self-made woman. She was, I believe, a freed slave that went on to become the official couturier for Miss Mary Todd Lincoln, okay? And her and Miss Mary Todd were actually quite good friends, all right? So not only was she Mary Todd Lincoln's couturier, but she was also one of the First Lady's good close friends, okay? And so talk about, proud Black Americans, which personally I think we're all just Americans. Like, you can't talk about and hold up, this is a little sidebar, by the way, you can't hold up melting pot multiculturalism and then still try and segregate people based off of race. No, baby, we're Americans. We're Americans. That's how that works. But that's a whole nother conversation. Anyways, back to my small but powerful list of impactful Black Americans, because in this context, it is relevant. Eartha Kitt. How did I forget about Eartha Kitt? She is both a musical icon and a silver screen icon, and personally a style icon that I look to for personal inspiration on a daily basis, okay? Now, we were talking about Miss Elizabeth Keckley, and then if we're going to talk about female entrepreneurships back in the day, are you not going to talk about Madam C.J. Walker? Okay? Right there. Anyways, then we have our authors. We've got Ralph Ellison. We've got Toni Morrison. Like, some of the most incredible authors of the 21st century. We're just going to write them off. Baby, it's not on my dime. Not on my dime. That's the wrong saying. Not on my time, okay? And culturally relevant of the current, drama that's happening right now, Miss Nicki Minaj. Who had that on their bingo card? Not me, but hey, I always liked her a lot. Now, then we've got, and these, again, this is just a short list, all right? Because there are so many incredibly talented and marvelous people who have made an impact on this culture. And it just, I can't tell you how wrong it rubs me to devalue the impact that these people have had just because they are quote unquote entertainers, okay? Or athletes. Like, get out of here with all that, okay? What about Jesse Jackson? Okay, wasn't that his name? Jesse Jackson at the Olympics, okay? What about that? Huh? Leontine Price. See, Jesse Jackson has been living in my brain rent-free trying to remember his name for the last couple of days, okay? I knew it would come to me. Same with Leontine Price, okay? Leontine Price is one of the operatic greats, okay? Unbelievable set of pipes on that woman. And to reduce every single one of these individuals to an entertainer or athlete is just pure disrespect, in my opinion. Pure, unadulterated disrespect. But anyways, now to some of my personal favorite entrepreneur, one of them, he might be a billionaire now. I do need to look up his name because I met him personally, and so I ought to know the man's name. But give me one hot sec here, y'all. It is the Shark Tank FUBU guy. What is his name? Damon John. Okay, Mr. Damon John. What a great name, Damon. All right, so first of all, he is a Queens boy, which we always knew we liked him. All right, now let's get some facts and figures up in here, okay? So, all right. Now then, who is Mr. Damon John if you are so unlucky as to not know who he is? First of all, Mr. Damon John is the FUBU founder, okay? Now, FUBU back in the day was the bee's knees, all right? All of the coolest young gentlemen that I went to elementary school with wore FUBU, okay? Like, that's just the way that worked, all right? So, I mean, and Jacquez Brown was a hottie. Darius White, hottie, first kiss I ever had, and he told my daddy on me, so fuck it to you, however many years later, Mr. White, for snitching. But anyways, FUBU, Damon John, founder in Queens, all right? And yeah, it was a massive lifestyle brand, and it did absolutely revolutionize streetwear, okay? And hip-hop fashion. Ooh, speaking of hip-hop fashion, oh my God, I'm gonna have to look him up too. Oh Lord. Oh God, what is his name? Hip hop. I'm so mad that I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh God, what is his name? Oh God, it will come to me. It's that guy. He's based in Harlem. I used to walk by his storefront when I had to go up there for coaching sessions. He used to repurpose and kind of appropriate high-end brands, and he made really iconic LVMH coats for rappers back in the 80s. Absolutely revolutionary designer, okay? His name will come to me. I know it will. But anyways, let me get back to Mr. Damon John. Okay, Damon John, founder of FUBU, revolutionized the hip-hop clothing industry, okay? He went on to become a Shark Tank guy. And I got to meet him at a, oh God, what do they call it? you know, it's a college class. I had a college class where every week we would have different people come in and speak, and he was one of the gentlemen that came in and spoke, and unbelievably impressed with this man. He gave some of the best advice I've ever had from someone who has started their own business and grown it into a irrefutably successful empire, okay? Because he's now on Shark Tank and he's investing in other small businesses, which, what higher calling is there as a capitalist, okay? Like, I can only dream, all right? Icon. And I think he is still on Shark Tank. He's been on Shark Tank since 2009. And he is indeed a great mentor. I agree with you, Mr. AI search thing here. And he is worth $350 million as of right now. He may be worth more than that, okay? But he is founder also of the Shark Group. It's a brand management and consulting firm that helps businesses grow and position themselves for success. But, I mean, yo, Damon John, how can you be out in these streets and, like, disrespect? And then, of course, Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas alone. If I had said no one else on this list, Clarence Thomas. That's all I have to say. Clarence Thomas. May he live a long, healthy, and abundant life. All right. So, now that I have kind of popped off a little bit on who some of my personal icons are, if there's anybody that I miss that you think deserves to be in because that's what a lot of this is. I'm trying to establish the pantheon of American mythos, right? I knew I forgot somebody, but as soon as I said American mythos, that man popped right into my head. John Henry. Okay, now, for those of you who do not know who John Henry is, y'all need to go out and educate yourself on some American history, because John Henry, okay? John Henry has his own theme song. Let me see if I can find it. I gotta find the John Henry song, y'all. I can't be talking about John Henry without his song. All right, let's see. Let's get it going here. John Henry. Yes. All right. Here we go. Yes. Yes. Another hottie. I mean, I don't know, because I never met the man, and he was, you know.
John Henry is the mighty man, born with a hammer, a 10-pound hammer.
In his hand. John Henry is a mighty man. Okay, I can't sing for shit, but come on, y'all. The man had like one of the catchiest personal theme songs of all time. Did it happen after he died? Yes, probably. But in his lifetime, the man became a legend. John Henry. All right, an absolutely irrefutable American myth legend and part of the pantheon of establishing who we are culturally and what it means to be American on a deep, personal, principled, and moralistic plane. Okay, Mr. John Henry. Y'all can tell I'm out here getting so worked up, so riled up, so All right. So, if there's anybody that I missed on my list that you think deserves, like Mr. John Henry, to go into the American mythos of who, I like to think of this as the American gods, right? Not in a Neil Gaiman way, because, like, is he right? Yes. But, like, I mean in, like, a real, like, who are the Achilles of our time, right? Like, who's our Odysseus? And John Henry is absolutely one of them, right? We've got John Henry, we've got Michael frickin' Jordan. Look, my buddy, he got me so riled up. I'm gonna start just repping Michael Jordan jerseys, 20 years after he retired. And you know what? Was the man, did he have his own problems? Yes. Did his gambling and financial decisions cause some personal problems for him? Yes, absolutely. But nobody's perfect, okay? That's the reality is that no one is perfect. And it doesn't change the impact that their work has on the culture and other people, right? Kind of like Bill Cosby. All right. Was Bill Cosby apparently one of the largest skis bags working on TV? Yes, apparently. But you know what? He also made a damn good TV show. And just because he was a skis bag does not mean that you get to throw the entire show that had, untold numbers of other people who contributed to the incredible work that went on in that show, right? I mean, no, I'm sorry. You can't just throw the whole thing out with the bathwater. My man is incredible, right? Like, we don't throw out Fresh Prince of Bel-Air just because it turns out that Will Smith is kind of a cuckoo clock, all right? No, it's still a delicious, incredible, phenomenal show. And you don't just toss everybody else out just because there's one bad apple. You recognize that the man was a bad apple, and maybe you don't give him any of your coins anymore, and maybe he goes to prison, but you still give everybody else that worked on it the respect and recognition that it deserves, all right? So, anyway. Plus, Bill Cosby is Bill Cosby, and the Huxtables were the Huxtables, okay? So, that's all we have to say about that. And Sanford and Son, that's what it was. I was about to say Sanderson and Son. My tongue don't work so good. But anyways, we're about 40 minutes into this, and hopefully you got my point that just because on the surface it appears to be predominantly entertainment and athletic accolades that are lauded and applauded by Black culture in America, doesn't mean that they are valueless. As a matter of fact, I think it's incredibly short-sighted, myopic, and disrespectful to even say such a thing, okay? Because I think that there are unbelievable American icons that have come out of our entertainment industry, because entertainment is part of who we are culturally. It always has been, and it always will be. And so we have to show respect to those who come and do a good job within that field, okay? And I think part of the problem that we have right now, and this has absolutely nothing to do with race, I think it's a broad sweeping problem that we're seeing just in the industry as a whole, is that the values and principles and in the types of people that we are choosing to shine a light on and lift up as aspirational within American culture right now are toxic and gross and frankly trashy individuals, okay? Look at the Kardashians, trashy. It doesn't matter. They are the quintessential example of it does not matter how much money you have, you cannot buy class. Because trashy. All of them. Every single one of them. And I think that they are the easiest litmus test to point to that showcases the fall from grace when it comes to what we expect of our American icons. And it's up to us. We're the people that have to stand up and say, no, we're not doing this anymore. We are not going to glorify trashy, disrespectful people anymore. We want people that have class, that have personal respect, that carry and conduct themselves in honorable ways, and live up to the image that they have as a leading light within our culture. Okay, and I mean that across all categories, not just entertainment, because these days like I was talking in my last episode, we all know that in this modern era, if you are a public figure of any kind, whether that's in business, entertainment, athletics, politics, even just a YouTube person, you have to expect to be who you say you are unequivocally, because otherwise people will find out. So, esse quam videre, y'all. Esse quam videre. But, anyways, let me know if there are any icons that I have left off of my list. I already know that there are, because we are chock full of remarkable, incredible, marvelous people in our culture. America is fantastic, and we have produced some spectacular human beings culturally, and we will continue to. We just have to remember how incredible they are. So go out there, live a great life, be rather than seem, and let me know if there was anybody that I missed that I need to throw on my list, because I am always looking for some new American icons to put into our mythos. All right? So, have a good one, y'all. Don't trust anybody, and it doesn't get any better than yes.